Well, hello everyone. Welcome in to Between the Pages episode. I'm going to say 8, and I really hope that I'm correct because I've been kind of remembering what episode I'm on based on Star Wars, which would have been really cool had I actually gone with my original Star Wars character um, that I created out of my imagination. I think this is actually imagination or dream, something like that. Either way, there's a little bit of yard work going on outside my window, so please excuse that sound. Give me a second. Okay. Hopefully that fixes my problem. Please ignore my backdrop deciding to swish with my movements. But anyway, welcome in everybody. It is October the 8th of 2020. Um, I really wanted to do a poll and have my viewers decide on what they wanted me to wear for the rest of October because I have, oh my goodness, my wig. I have a closet full of cosplay outfits that I have, and obviously this is one of them. And I very quickly, because I was actually really, I don't want to say sick, but I was unwell yesterday. I had a severe migraine, and it happened to coincide with me going to my neurologist, and my neurologist was like, you know what? I think you should take a day off from looking at screens that close to your face. So, I got to sit on the couch with my daughter and watch Halloween movies, which she and I enjoy very much. My daughter is 9, in case you guys didn't know, and she is not afraid of anything. Like, zero. She accidentally came in while I was modding for Failed Grenade while he was playing Doom Eternal, and this came like a minute after he had basically shit his pants, ripping some guy's head off or something. And my daughter, who is 9, basically laughed and said that was really cool. And so I had to tell my at then content creator, my content creator, as I was his mod, that my 9-year-old thought that his game was weak sauce. So yeah, needless to say, we love Halloween here. And my wig, I'm sorry, I did not store it properly, so my wig is freaking me out right now. I'm trying very hard to not sit in here, look at the camera, and fix it. But I might just end up buying a whole new wig. Who knows? It's getting kind of frail. I've had this for probably 7 years, so it might be time for a new one. Who knows? Anyway, so when my hair goes all gray, this is gonna be kind of what it looks like, right, guys? Yeah, my hair is getting there. It's getting there. I won't have to use a wig. I'll just have to figure out how to braid and curl my hair, but that'll come with time, right? So today's Between the Pages, like I said, episode 8, is going to be a little unconventional, mostly because I didn't get to finish a book this week. I was having a hard time deciding on the basically the theme for the rest of the month because I want to incorporate scary stories. And I've also been encouraged to incorporate some other scary medium, such as TV shows, manga, graphic novels, whatever you want to call it, and movies, obviously, TV shows, yeah. So last week we covered my original works and we actually got to talk about zombies. So I was pretty happy that that kind of fell into the theme. This week, like I said, I haven't been able to finish a book, but I am currently reading Jim Butcher's Ghost Story, which I believe is number 13 in his Dresden Files series. And it coincides, it's a ghost story. It's great. I'm really excited to finish that. I might cover it next week, but I've also had a special request to cover Beowulf next week. So I might not poll for next week either because if I do Beowulf, I'll do it in my Viking garb to go in with the whole theme. And while it's not scary, it has to do with monsters, so Halloween-esque. Is there any comments or questions before I dive right in? We've had about 5 minutes to have people in here, so that's really good. If we're all ready, obviously I can show off my custom made, and yes, my secret lab chair is Targaryen. If you guys didn't know, I've been huge into Game of Thrones for the last, I don't know, 8 years, I'm gonna say. Maybe 8 or 9 years. I know I was on deployment when I was watching some of it, so that's been at least 8 years. So I'm gonna say I'll go with 9, just to be on the safe side. 9 years. I've been into Game of Thrones for 9 years, basically the entirety of the show. And I had always considered myself a member of the High Garden, so the Tyrells. But my husband, he was like strict Targaryen, and so when I married him, I was like, you know what? I married into the Targaryens. I go full force into it, so Targaryen by marriage. Yay. But I cosplayed as Daenerys for the first time 7 years ago. I'm gonna say it was 2013. That was a really fun con. That was a really fun Halloween season. It was great. So I had commissioned my seamstress friend. I was like, hey, I don't want to do the whole like really risque, sexy Daenerys that everyone's been doing. I wanted to do, and this is because I've been like, not just because I was in the military at the time, but because I've really been into like strong, powerful women, not just pretty decorative items. I wanted to go with Daenerys's general's robes, basically. So I got the cloak, comes with a cute little clasp. Her hair out of her face, make sure that it's braided back in her style at the time. She still adopted some of the Khalisars, so the braids represent that. And yeah, the dress is very simple, but it at the same time commands like respect. And you can't see it right now, but this outfit goes with like very slim pants and boots. So yeah, I get to talk about my costume a little bit, but that's not the focus of today's episode. Today's episode, I'm going to be discussing the reviews of the scary movies that I've been watching over the last week. In case you didn't know, I'm huge into Halloween, and every night I watch at least one scary movie. Now, one night I did not because I was not feeling well, but I had 2 extra movies to cover that. So, we're going to get straight into this week's movies review. All right, so as I posted, on the first night of Halloween, my true love gave to me the movie Apostle from 2018. I did a very brief review inside of this post, so I'm going to give you a little bit of background. Apostle is a movie that is available on Netflix. Basically, the movie is about, and spoiler alert, the movie is about this young man, I would say he's a young man, maybe no more than 30, who is on this quest, not necessarily missionary, but he was at once a priest, and he had a vehement belief in God that drove him to do a lot of things. But in this particular quest, he was off to rescue his sister from these extremist cult people, and in the beginning, you know really nothing about this religion that these people follow, and you have this like consistent state of confusion, like what are these people about, because like they seem so happy and so peaceful, but then they start doing some really weird things like bloodletting. Every night they have to offer sacrifice of their own blood to this goddess that they believe in. you come to find out it's like the goddess of the island, like the island itself incarnate, that grows crops, that grows the vegetation, the foliage, everything. And to sustain this goddess, you have to give your blood. You have to sacrifice. And they do. All these people that are willing participants in this cult, they give up their blood to her, and it's kind of an intimate relationship that they have with their goddess that they believe in so fully. And basically, they wanted refuge from persecution throughout, like, Christianity, almost like Christianity, because throughout the world that they had lived in, they had taxation, and they had poverty, and they experienced low health care. And this island that they fled to and basically communed in, they didn't tax the people. They, not in a monetary sense, they didn't like hold people in contempt because they couldn't provide fully like upstanding members of society. What happened was you had a job, you had something that you could do to contribute to the rest of the community, which was great. And the only form of taxation was to sacrifice your blood just a little bit to the goddess to sustain the goddess, who then provided food and nourishment. So that was really cool. I thought that the premise, which obviously I just went into kind of in detail, I thought the premise was incredible. I was riveted the whole time. Um, and the cinematography was incredible. Like, you could not, I was fully immersed in this movie. My only complaint was a lack in character development. I felt an attachment to the characters they wanted me to be attached to, and got upset whenever they basically martined them. But overall, I love this movie. I gave it a 4 out of 5, so complete. Hi there. Completely recommend. It's not scary. I mean, it might be appalling, and it might scare some people, but I didn't find it scary, and that's probably, that and the character development are the only complaints that I can even think to have about Apostle. Again, found on Netflix. Hi, Bard. Nice to see you in here. All right, so this is great. On the second night of Halloween, I watched the remastered Child's Play from 2019. If you know anything about me, which you probably don't know this fact, but to know me, I've been watching scary movies my entire life. Entire life. The first one that I can remember very clearly was Candyman, and I cannot for the life of me remember what year that came out. I can actually look that up. Well, no, I'm not going to. But I have been impatiently waiting for the new one because it looks incredible. It looks like it goes really deep into the story. But again, because of COVID, it's been delayed to next year, which I'm not upset, because either they're doing it to fully develop the movie and give it what it's supposed to have, or they're waiting for when we can safely return to theaters, which I don't blame them, because it will severely impact the reception of this movie, and I think that this rendition of the movie is going to be very important for us to view. Anyway, so besides that, the second scary movie I can remember watching, and I was about, I want to say 5 or 6. I watched Candyman very clearly, I remember, at 5 or 6, and Child's Play soon after. Actually, funny fact, the year I watched Child's Play was the year I got a life-size Christy doll. And if you have any idea what a life-size Christy doll is, You would know it obviously doesn't look like Chucky, but I saw that movie and my 5 or 6 year old brain was like, uh-uh. And my mother tells me that I buried the thing in the backyard. So, needless to say, that like it got to me. I had this weird obsession with collecting porcelain dolls, but I couldn't keep them in my room. I was like, no, I'm keeping them in another room. And I do remember one Christmas I got a beautiful, beautiful porcelain doll, and I didn't keep it in my room, but I knew that it was in the living room where my mother was, and I was like, Mom, you can't be in this room with this doll. Mm-mm. I've seen this movie. We're not doing this tonight. So she moved it into another room so I would be more comfortable. Yeah, I have this weird obsession with things that scare me. I love it. Anyway, so Child's Play 2019, available on Hulu. So go watch that. I wrote a quick review about it, and I want to share that with you guys right now. I'm going to verbatim this review because I thought it was really important and I loved it. So, here's my thoughts on Child's Play 2019. Child's Play 2019 is what happens when you mix Child's Play with The Terminator and Small Soldiers. Please tell me you've all seen those movies, because if not, go watch them. Kept all the things that you loved about the 80s horror and fixed everything you hated. So, like I said, I'm huge into horror movies, and the 80s and 90s were a huge, huge precipice for hilarious horror movies. You had characters like Freddy Krueger, Jason, Michael Myers. God, what is Jason's last name? Jason. That's all I got for you. It'll come to me. If anyone can remember Jason's last name, please put it in the comments. Anyway, so you had characters like that. Pinhead. Oh, I almost forgot Pinhead from Hellraiser. So you had these scary, horrible monsters with backstories that were like you could understand why they became Voorhees. Thank you, Mass. Oh my God. Thank you, Jason Voorhees. You're killing me. My brain's killing me, not you guys. Thank you. Anyway, so you had these traumatic backstories for these monsters, and you can kind of see where it came from. But then you got to see what happens whenever you mess with a demented man, poor child, and you know, I kind of sympathize with these killers. Whenever they did Freddy versus Jason, I was Team Jason all the way, even though I love Freddy Krueger so much. And if you haven't seen the remastered Nightmare on Elm Street, I believe it came out in 2011. It's worth a watch. I really enjoyed the depth that they went into Freddy's backstory. So I recommend. It's not scary. I'm trying to think of things that actually scared me, and I might get to you at the end of this. So, but to continue on with Child's Play 2019, I gave it a 4 out of 5, only because it's a recycled story. And what I mean by that is obviously because they've done it before. But I highly recommend this for people who love the Child's Play story. This is a modern rendition of the movie, and it's completely believable if you accept Terminator-like robotics, I'm going to say. And if you have any experience with what we have done so far as artificial intelligence, you know that this is completely plausible. And they take this idea of a robot doll coming to life, and now we upload it to the cloud, and it has Bluetooth capabilities to control anything with Bluetooth, such as Siri and Google, like thermostats, webcams, drones, anything. And it's terrifying. That is an absolutely terrifying concept. So while I wasn't scared due to anything in the movie. The idea, the concept that this doll, this robot, this artificial intelligence could control that much, that is so scary. Like, think about that joke around the internet about artificial intelligence and things coming to life. The guy laughs, his wife laughs, the toaster laughs, he shoots the toaster because it's a Decepticon. It's it's scary because it could happen. Honestly, that's what I found scary, and I loved it. Okay, let's see. What's the next thing? Oh, okay. So on the third night of Halloween, I watched The Sandman. The Sandman is a movie you can find on Hulu. I was going to say Hulu. On Hulu. And so here's my review. The verdict is that it was okay. Poor writing, poor acting, but the essence of the story was similar to Before I Wake, and I'll get into that in a second. And I loved it. I love the story of Before I Wake. All in all, I gave it a 2 out of 5, and no rewatchability, in my opinion. So The Sandman basically follows, like I said, the premise of Before I Wake. The Sandman is a monster that this, I'm going to say, psychically charged girl created from a story. Her father read her a scary bedtime story, and she brought the monster from the story to life. This girl was said to be lucky because when she was born with the amniotic sac intact, which could be really dangerous. But apparently it's a sign of good luck in some cultures. So this girl had telekinetic powers, basically. She could make lights flicker, she could move objects, she could just psychically charge anything around her. And that is how she created the Sandman. And the Sandman plagued her nightmares, but the Sandman also protected her. If she was upset, if she felt in danger, the Sandman would come and kill whoever was there threatening her. So that was intense, but throughout the whole thing, I was kind of bored. I hated the cinematics of it. The shots were all wrong. The acting was very bad. The girl, the little girl, was actually probably the best actress in the entire thing. The doctor, he's one of my favorites. Can't think of his name off the top of my head. And that's killing me. I'm pretty sure he was the original Freddy Krueger. So if someone could tell me the name of that guy, I'd appreciate it. Gosh, I know this too because I have every single Freddy Krueger movie. So I don't know what's wrong with me. I am blanking. Anyway, so moving on. Before I Wake, I have not watched this Halloween season, but I probably will because I really enjoyed it. Before I Wake centers on this family, this husband and wife that had recently lost their young son. I think he was about 8 or 9, 10 at the most. And they wanted to adopt a child around the same age. So they adopted this boy who had been in and out of foster care because weird things were happening around him. Now it turns out that this boy, whatever he dreams, he can bring to life. And whenever this husband and wife introduced the boy to, and I say introduced, they told him about their son that had passed, and the boy dreamed about him, and the husband and wife got to see their son again whenever their adopted son fell asleep. But in conjunction with these wonderful things that the boy was able to dream and bring to life for his new parents, he also had a demon, a monster that plagued his nightmares, and he called him the Canker Man. And the Canker Man originally had killed his mother. And it was a mystery around her death, obviously, because nobody believes that there's a monster out there just killing people. So they weren't sure how she had. No, that's not true. That's not true. The Canker Man came after his mother died. That's what it was, and then started killing people around him. So that was pretty intense. That movie I give definitely 4 out of 5. There are very few movies that I give a 5 out of 5 for. And I'm sure that the reason I give Before I Wake a 4 out of 5 is because of probably plot holes. I like plausible, scary movies. I don't know why, but I also like supernatural ones. So go figure? Question mark. On top of that, so we talked about Sandman. Oh, I watched another movie after Sandman, and I basically said, so I was disappointed in the last movie, and I treated myself to a second scary movie on the third night of Halloween. It was called The Haunted, also on Hulu. So I wasn't all that impressed with The Haunted. The Haunted centers around this theme of there is a young woman who is a brand new caregiver to an elderly and sick gentleman in a far out in the boonies house. And basically her whole job is to babysit him through the night. And she overhears the couple that lives there talking about, hey, do you want to tell her about the house? And the guy's like, there's nothing wrong with the house. We're not going to talk about it, blah, blah, blah. But she overhears that and she's like, whatever, I don't care. So throughout the night, some scary, spooky, supernatural things start happening around her. And it's pretty boring at first. I was like, why am I watching this? I didn't even want to finish it, honestly. I didn't. But I kept on. So I overall said the movie started off weak and boring, but got interesting and had a neat indie vibe. So there was a 3 out of 5, but I would not rewatch. I don't recommend, but check it out for yourself. Tell me if I'm wrong. Same with the Sandman. Tell me if I'm just like being too critical of it or something. So on the fourth night of Halloween, me and some friends watched Veronica on Netflix. So last year I had heard about Veronica. I hadn't gone into it. I don't even know why I didn't get into it because I heard a lot of good things about it. I heard that it was so scary that people couldn't finish watching it. I heard that it was like 10 out of 10, perfect scary movie. And I never ended up watching it. And for the life of me, I can't remember why. But that's what happened. So, finally, on the fourth night of Halloween, I watched Veronica with my friends. And my thoughts on it are Veronica was an excellent adaptation of Based on a True Story. I love Based on a True Story, anything and everything, but especially scary stories. The story was solid, the acting was natural, and the creep/suspense factor was superb. I wasn't scared, but that could be because it was 1 in the afternoon when I watched it with my friends, and midnight for where my friends were. All in all, 4 out of 5 with some rewatchability. I personally won't rewatch it unless one of my good friends wants to watch it. I probably won't even recommend it to them based on which friends I'm talking about. But it's interesting. I'd give it at least one watch, give it a try. I was not scared. There was some creepy stuff in it, and I was like, ooh, I'm into that. But all in all, it was an okay scary movie. So Yeah, go give Veronica on Netflix a shot if you like. Let's see. On the 5th night of Halloween, again, I watched with my friends, we watched Cargo. Cargo is something I had never even heard of. My friend had looked it up or something like that, and he recommended that we all watch it. I was drawn in by the idea of watching Cargo, and I voted to watch Cargo because Martin Freeman's in it, and I love Martin Freeman. So obviously, if you don't know, he's Bilbo Baggins. He's also John Watson in Sherlock. Jeez, I don't know why that blanked on me. He's excellent. He's just excellent in everything I've ever seen him do. So, on the 5th night of Halloween, the gang and I watched Cargo. It was a super believable zombie flick with the incredible Martin Freeman. I absolutely loved the movie. 5 out of 5. Oh my god, I gave something a 5 out of 5 and I forgot. For a drama movie about zombies. Huge rewatchability, but nearly no scare factor. So, for a scary movie, I'd probably only give it like a 3, but super rewatchability because it's so good. I really love zombies, and I love zombie movies, and I love it when they're believable. I hate World War Z. I don't want to watch the series. That was a terrible book. It was a bad movie. I Am Legend is on the border of how much I like zombies, but it gave enough scientific believability that I still like I Am Legend, and the book is worth a read if you're into that. My mic is echoing. I'm so sorry. I don't know what to do about that other than maybe speak more quietly. Because you should not be able to hear anything other than me. Make sure that my desktop audio is off, even though it's already muted. Anyway, so yeah, super believable zombie movie. Recommend Cargo as a drama, not as a scary movie. I believe I missed out on the 6th night of Halloween. Yes, I missed out on the 6th night of Halloween. But yesterday was the 7th night of Halloween, and on the 7th night of Halloween, I watched the classics, Beetlejuice and Hocus Pocus, with my daughter. Both 5 out of 5 for rewatchability. These are classics. So I couldn't give them any less than a 5 because Beetlejuice, oh my gosh. If you have not watched it, what is her name? It's Naomi, I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure her name is Naomi. And the guy who plays Beetlejuice. Why am I blanking on characters' names or actors' names right now? It's driving me nuts. I believe Gina Davis and Alec Baldwin are the husband and wife. But Michael Keaton, thank you. He's normally really attractive, and he's like psychotic and really freakishly looking in this movie. If you have not seen that classic, what is wrong with you? Please go watch it right now. If you have cable, it's available on what is now Freeform. It used to be like ABC Family or something like that. And 31 Nights of Halloween are on. So, additionally, Hocus Pocus is a huge classic, huge fan favorite. They keep talking about a Hocus Pocus 2. I want to be on board with it, but I don't want you to mess up my story. One of my first age-appropriate crushes was Thackeray Binks, played by the guy on NCIS that I love. Holy crap. Math, help me. Why am I blanking on these names? I don't understand. I'm usually pretty good at this. Either way, I was like in love with him when I was like 10, 12, something like that. It was age appropriate is all I remember. I also had a crush on the kid from A Little Vampire. Not the main vampire child, but his brother. He was... I don't know. I like dark and brooding. Leave me alone. Anyway, yeah, so that was all yesterday. I don't even know what I'm going to watch today. So if you guys have any suggestions, comments, anything like that, please feel free to throw me a suggestion. Since today was a little bit thrown together, I'm not going to be... this episode's going to be pretty short, actually. So I'm going to start wrapping up. If anybody has anything that they'd like to say, comments, questions, concerns, suggestions for tonight's watch, I'm all ears. Otherwise, yeah, on Daenerys Stormborn today. I don't even want to get into that because, one, still waiting on A Dance for Dragons, or, what is the name of the book? I'm losing my mind today, guys. I don't know what it is. It's not the day. But I love this outfit. I love this character. And I really hated what they did in the end. Because while believably Dany could have succumbed to madness, and he was kind of crazy in the end, Mark Harmon. I don't think that... Was it really Mark Harmon? No, Mark Harmon's the hot guy. Like, Mark Harmon was not an age-appropriate crush. Is not an age-appropriate crush I have. I'm talking about, it's not Gibbs, it's McGee. The guy who plays McGee plays Thackeray Binks in Hocus Pocus. Anyway, so, yeah, I have a crush on Mark Harmon. Leave me alone. Anyway, I was talking about Game of Thrones. But yeah, I don't like the way they ended it for her. It's not dying, it was how, so spoiler alert. If you haven't watched it by now, please don't torture yourself. Basically stop at, like, I want to say season 6 or 7. Stop there. Don't watch the last season. You'll just be disappointed. Yeah. Anyway, guys, so I will eventually think about, hi, Grav. I'm about to sign off, though. Grav will be hosting our Among Us at 3, so that's going to be another, hour and a half? This episode's going to be short, guys, so. Grav, that's not necessary. Grav! Thank you. Rude, you can't come in here and just gift people subs. Telesto Besto. Holy crap, thank you. I appreciate you so much. Wow. Why are you gonna do this when I'm on camera? It is a free chat, but... Oh, man, you're gonna get my mods started again. I hate when they do that. But thank you. Thank you. Like, you better watch yourself. I'll come in there and I'll do it again. I will. Anyway, so can't think of Thackeray Binks' name at the moment, so I'm gonna let you guys go. Maybe I'll play some Spellbreak before Among Us happens. I think we have, Grav, correct me if I'm wrong, we have 8 ready to play at 3. I think it's something like that. Other than that, everybody, thank you so much for dropping in. I appreciate it. I'm sorry that it was a little impromptu, but hey, you got to see me dressed as Daenerys. And next week, if I finish Beowulf, I will be in my Viking garb again. I love my Viking garb, and I found both of my clasps. So that's going to be great, and it's going to be complete, except I don't have my tiara. I just remembered I don't have my Viking tiara. Oh well. I'll make it happen. So, yes. Beowulf if I finish it by next week. Otherwise, we will be doing maybe my original Star Wars character. And I will talk to you guys about ghost stories. So, let me know what you think. Suggestion box is on my channel. Otherwise, I will catch you guys in a minute on stream playing Spellbreak. Bye, guys.